Hello, welcome to Reframing Mindset Podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity and practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, now welcome back to Reframe Mindset Podcast. My name is Constant Brooks. I know this episode we're going to talk about the 6 week. Now we are employed for 6 weeks, yeah, into the 6 week. And, bro, this phase, bro, is where we actually, so, this phase of the work is where we're actually doing the work. So we're not officially employed yet, but what we're doing is we're simulating being a full time employee just to see if we can actually do the work. And bro, it is an experience. It is an experience. Like legit talking to the real people is like there's nothing like it, bro. It's nothing like it. You really have to like see like this podcast now. I'm just talking casually. If you understand I don't understand it, it kinda doesn't really matter to me. 'Cause I'm just out here just expressing myself. But in the work, you have to speak. You have to speak in a way for them to understand. You have to really, if you're not understanding, you get the real criticism. We say like, "Yo, I can't understand it. Get me someone else." That's like I'm doing this for 8 hours, bro. I'm doing this 8 hours a day, trying to speak, trying to speak in English, trying to speak in English to make these people understand me, bro. It's really something. And like for example, I'm not a person that likes to speak, bro. I'm not a person that likes to speak. So it's like, yo, it's nothing like it. But yeah, I love it and I hate it at the same time. Like I've reached a point where like I can go there and actually do the work and actually do the work. So every day I'm getting better. So every day I'm getting better at it. My way to speak getting better. Every day I'm getting less people saying that okay they can't understand me. Only most recently it's mostly like maybe a few. I still get a few, but every day I'm getting better. Every day I'm doing more calls. I'm doing more. I'm getting better. But sometimes you have some people that just come and they'll be like, "Yo, I can't understand a word you're saying, bro." And I was like, "There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. I just try my best to actually pronounce my words better, talk more slowly." Yeah, so based on the work that I've done so far, I realized that okay, one of the things is I talk a little fast. So I guess if I want to do things better, I may have to actually start slowly. But the reason why I speak so fast, I think it's through nerves, nerves. Not nervous in the fact that I'm nervous in talking to people, just that I'm nervous in the way that I'm not really an English speaker. I'm not really a person that likes to talk and stuff like that. So I have to always be on the fly, making up words, putting words together, conversating, building rapport. I have to speak positively. I can't really speak no negatively in this field. I have to really be optimistic and stuff like that. Even when it's a dark dark road, I have to be optimistic. So it's like I have to be doing that on the fly. So that results in me always speaking kind of fast because I'm like, yo, I'm just letting it fly. And that's one of the reasons why they can't really understand me. So I guess I have to really I guess one of the thing is I have to really increase my vocabulary. I have to really increase because you may assume that I have a lot of vocabulary. I know I have a really small vocabulary. I'm just really good at using certain words. I'm just really good at using certain words to make it feel like, yo, I've been reading for years, but I have a very small vocabulary. So, and what I'm not good at is pronunciating or enunciating all those stuff. So I have to really get better at that. So I guess, but regardless, the person, one of my, my team lead is saying, "Yo, Colin, you actually put in good work." So while I get those few bad calls and so that, overall, I'm actually doing the work well, doing the stuff well and stuff like that. And the team leaders see me. It's like, yo, you reach a point where you say, yo, you might actually, because how this phase of the work is going is that, okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna simulate a full-time job for like 5 days just to see, just so you can get coaching. Like, so when you're doing it, if you're not doing well, they pull you one side and they just coach you and tell you what you're doing wrong and so you can get better. So they're doing this for basically 5 days. And what happened was that the first day I was not doing well, but every day after that I'm getting better and better and better because I'm actually just learning from my mistakes and just applying it better. I'm better. So that the person say, the team leader say, yo, Colin, bro, you're off the roof, bro. You're off the roof. They can't hold you back, man. It's like, yo, it's like you say, yo, I'm ready for the field already. It's like they're already ready to hire me, put me in the full time position. So it's like, yeah. But the thing about it is that even though they might be ready, I haven't really fully learned the job yet. So there's still stuff that I might not know. But the thing about it is that the way the job work is that I'm going there. If I'm actually get the full employee, I'm just I'm just I'm just still at the bottom. Still at the bottom. So there will be people above me that I could always rely on. Just like how I am in this phase. I have people that I have to talk to do certain stuff and they know more than me. So when I actually go into the real job, I would actually be doing that as well. I would just be a small as a nice rep, just in the business, doing the work, doing a full time job. But the thing is, difference between now and if I get the full work would be that when I do these calls, I will get bonuses. So based on how well or bad I do, I can really get bonuses. So right now, I'm just getting the base. So if I'm actually doing the real work now, when I'm actually become a full employee, I'll be getting bonuses. So that's, and then I'll be able to, maybe in a year I could advance, become supervisor. Like, I could become one of those persons that was teaching me when I just came in, so that they have trainers and team leads. I could actually in a year or so become one of those persons. So when they start hiring new people, I'll be one of those persons. And it would be just like that be just like when I just went to the university and went on dorm. I was like the fresher, a new person on the block, and they have super seniors, like older person that were on the hall like a year before me, and we have to look up to them. And then boom, the second year I end up become one of those person that train the new generation of people, and they start to look up to me as so in the workplace it could be. So it's like, yo, bro, I'm telling you, this phase of the podcast is you seeing the real life. You're seeing the real life of how. So like, so what happens that they are this. If you listen to the podcast, I mean, the early episode, you hear like the my second hand recalling of how I became who I became, why I got my degree and stuff like that. So what would happen is that when you listen it back, then it would be me telling you what I relive. It would telling you how, tell my storytelling of how. What this phase is basically you seeing firsthand. You're hearing the first hand of how I actually did it in real life. So it's like that's the one thing. That's the one thing about this. And the thing about it is that I can't make this up, bro. I'm like legit. Because what happens is that I went in the job with the right mindset this time. I went in the job with the right mindset this time. So that's one of the reasons why I kinda and not only that, that's not only reason. I think it's because I'm older. Because this I'm in the job, and what I realize that I'm older than most of these people. Most of these people. So I guess the age is really bringing out the maturity in me. And so I can't deny that. Like legit, in the Bible they say when you're a child, you usually do childish things. When I grow older, put the child stuff away. And that I really see myself. So I really see myself maturing, doing all those stuff that the younger me would never wanted to do. Never, never the younger me. So I can feel myself getting older. I can't deny it. I feel myself getting older. But yeah, well, I guess we aren't all meant to live forever. Maybe we can, but maybe we don't. But I have to really appreciate the time that I have here. I'm one more year. This episode is released in 2023. It is released in 2023. So yeah, and so this episode will be released in 2023. So it will coming out and around early in January. But what happens is that there's a couple episodes that I recorded back in 2022 that is going to be released after this one. So yeah, and that would those episodes would be the one just in case I never made it to the fifth week. So those. So if I actually got fired, if I never passed that test the fifth week, those episodes will be released because those are the lessons that I learned from those fifth week. But since I made it past the fifth week, there's more things that I learned that I'm learning now that I can really apply elsewhere. I can share with you and think about it this year is that I'm 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 out of the new generation now. I'm not really the new person on the block anymore. I'm one of those old person that I'm one of the people now. People gonna say, "Yeah, bro." I'm one of those people gonna say, "Back in my days, doing this and that." That's basically who I am now. Back in my days, they used to do this, but yeah, I'm one of those person that's going to talk about the glory days. Back when I was in my glory days. All those glory days is basically going away. Yeah. I'm trying to get back some of it, but I can't promise you that all. I can't promise you that all the glory days will come back. So, so, but yeah, the 6 week has been real. See myself, apply myself. This 6 week, I've been real. I really appreciate myself to see how well see how fast I'm progressing this 6 weeks to the point where I be like, yo, it looks like I'm really ready for the work already. Because I went into it with the right mindset. So that's basically it for this episode. hmm Yeah, and look forward for the next episode.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/CSSB/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
What the next thing that I learned in our next life lesson, next life lesson. I may have mentioned it before. I more likely don't. But the next one is don't learn things in a vacuum. And this was taught to me by my chemistry teacher. You listen to the podcast. You have known my story with the chemistry teacher. But that lesson, it really was valuable. And it was the most valuable lesson that I gotten at the most important time in my life. Because but then before I got that lesson, you know, I I had unrealized potential. I was naturally good, if you get what I mean. I was naturally good enough to do. I was like, talent versus hard work. Hard work beats talent.